Alrighty, you guys, welcome to Monday. My goodness, what have you done? What have you done, everybody, over the weekend? DeepSeek, the story of the moment. Today, we'll talk about stocks, commodities, and cryptos as everything obviously flash crashes into the news events. Nvidia down big time, OpenAI bankrupt? Question mark. Yeah, everybody is obviously making a huge deal about it. But don't worry, you guys know we've got this covered, and obviously we'll be talking about it in just a moment. What do you think, everyone? What's your favorite stock of the day? What are you looking at? Let us know in the chat. Also, if you enjoy our streams, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. This is a pretty huge event. It's been a while since we've seen a flash crash like this. Reminds me a little bit of August of last year. And obviously, that was about the Bank of Japan. This time, it's about China and their magical AI device. So, guys, we'll talk about it and break down some of it together. What do you guys think, though? Do you think it's real or not? Let's do a poll to start off here. Are you worried about DeepSeek? Let's check it out. Let's do the poll. Do you think DeepSeek will is the real deal? All right, let's see what the poll is. Before I give my opinion, I'd like to see your guys' opinion. So we'll get that one through. Let's read a couple of the chat comments. As always, love to see what you guys are saying and always want to be covering, hopefully, the best answers for you. So, yeah, obviously it's big news. There's no doubt that everyone's talking about it. I kind of feel like it was almost warranted. And I've got up here, not even a chart to start off with here. It's a sentiment survey because what happened to you guys? You all went so bullish. 25.4% the week before, 43.4% as of Tuesday. So you can only imagine that was 50% by the end of the week. No wonder the resistance needed to be sold. But did it need to be flash crashed? Well, the answer could lie in something else we shared. By the way, look at the spread difference. Whoa, that's huge. That is a massive spread difference. But could the actual real reason here be the fact that we actually have no puts in the market? A lot of people will unfortunately be caught off guard. Maybe some of you took profit on Friday. Maybe some of you don't really care about this. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, 4% down, buying opportunity, all green, all good. All right, so Justin here says, I think the real problem with DeepSeek is open source and undermines the AI CapEx spending. DeepSeek trained on same budget, in my opinion, on black market chips. Okay, so the story here is that supposedly there are 40,000, was it? A lot of NVIDIA chips. Someone else might need to quickly tell me which number it is, but it's a lot. So basically, the thought process is there were chips actually being used for this. And then this is a good comment. I think this basically underpins some of the discussion points here. If you guys want, we have a couple of choices. One, I can give you my opinion of what I've been reading so far and what I think about this. And I'll give you some analogies that I think you might like. Number two, we can read over a couple of people's pretty big threads on X together and talk about each point, because obviously this is the big story. So which one would you guys like? Would you like one or two? One is my opinion straight away, and I kind of just break it down. Or two is we go through a few other opinions, get a bit of a handling on the situation, and then go from there. You guys let me know, one or two. What matters is AI is still the theme. Yep, I tend to agree. I have been using DeepSeek for a month. It's absolutely the real deal from Yerson. So obviously another one here. China has Elon's back. Okay, whatever. Yes, you can download it and use it locally, and I'm using it, and it's bloody amazing. So a lot of people are liking it. Not yet. It's noise. DeepSeek is nothing special. Have been trying it all morning. Its impact, OpenAI valuation for sure. I 100% agree with this. It will certainly impact that valuation heavily. I think what this proves is that we definitely are going into a space here where we already knew computes were getting destroyed. So basically, the cost of all of this was a race to the bottom. This is always the way it's been. If you liken it to the internet or you liken it to anything else, the costs will always go down in a line. So effectively, we were getting absolutely crunched. Think of it like kind of like, in EVs as well. If you think about battery costs getting crunched every year, it will continue to go down, just like in this case, the compute goes down. Now, the question about the 6 million or the 10 million or whatever, all right, looks like most of you guys just want my opinion. All right, let's break it down. Okay, so first up, from anyone that's actually caring about this is a major support for NASDAQ. Let's talk about that pre-market. It's major support. It's a huge support. It's first support. Look, Guys, you are the biggest brain individuals out there. I didn't even modify this chart. Look at that. First support. Bam. Look at that level. Oh, yeah. Flash crash right into it. Of course it would. Let's have a quick look at US 500 here. 59.50, 59.20 area. Of course, very good zone. Very good zone. Seems like a pretty big reaction to me. And you'll notice Bitcoin a little bit lower, actually. This is now getting down into the more dangerous area, 95, 96. And Ethereum, of course, crunching its way into 3K. Ethereum's got no chill, guys. I actually feel like with Ethereum, it might be just better off just chilling, unless you're holding it, it's okay. But if you chill until 34.50 if you're actually a trader, because that's a significant level. I haven't lost hope on the 34.50, but when it happens, that'll be significant. So you'll notice here that most of the crunch is actually happening on one stock, and that's, of course, Nvidia, 126 at the time that we're recording right now. And this actually activates, if it doesn't recover, a couple of big problems. Now, a few of you guys have been sending it through, and I haven't discounted it, and that is that this is a Wyckoff. So we've got a UT, a UTAD, and now we've got a new low. That is a full-on distribution, and it really needs to not get hammered too much lower and needs a pretty strong recovery fairly quickly, because that is actually distribution. So if this is distribution and people have been selling into this DeepSeek idea for a while, then that's important. But remember this. Let's just quickly break down a thing here. All right. So the stories are so far. Number one, I want to rate this very clearly. Chinese New Year is literally happening right now. Okay. I find it interesting that this news drops, bang, just before. Okay. Whoa, guys, look what we did. $6 million. Could that be good to potentially get people chitter-chattering around the world? Maybe get a little bit of the hype beast while the markets go into, if you don't know, one of the literally biggest, what is the biggest holiday in China. Everyone goes and travels everywhere and has a chat with all their friends. Kind of reminds me of Thanksgiving in America, where everyone goes back and says, guess, did you guys get some Bitcoins this year? You know, what about when it's dropped? Suspicious? I would say pretty good idea. In fact, I would actually drop it around this time. This would be a very good technique to maybe get that market start, rolling again into the positive side. So I'm going to say that. Number one, I think the timing is suspicious. What do you think, chat? Do you think the timing is suspicious? Let's read here. Didn't we know about DeepSeek a week ago? Yeah, we pretty much did. They just dropped a new version, though, I think. 30% drop in Nvidia would be awesome. Let's not get a 30% drop. That would be kind of bad. Power will be forced out. Yes, it is. Yes. Now that you say so, I kind of think so. All right. So I'm going to go with, all right, good timing. Well done. Number two, in some ways, if you've actually been bullish on China, you would be loving this news. Anyone bullish on China here, the China stocks? Notice the ETF flows that we released on the weekend. What the hell's going on there? Things were down in the dirt of the dirt. And of course, this opens up mega squeeze. Can you imagine if HSI, the Chinese market over the futures, keeps going up? Can you imagine how many of these guys are caught offside? Oh, they are getting smashed. So I think timing, first up. My first opinion is timing is very questionable. Number two, but if I was running it, I'd do it too. So well played. Okay. That's exactly what we'd do. Why wouldn't we? Release the good news into Chinese New Year, let it spread like wildfire, get that bullish kind of overtone back in, and maybe we've downed and bottomed off the market. All right. So I think this is clear. Number two, did anyone not think that the entire world is in an AI arms race? Truly, chat, you guys knew, yeah? We've been in an arms race since day one. If you don't think we are in an AI arms race, I don't know where you have been. I don't know what you think. I don't know what you don't understand. Whoever gets the neural net wins the world, okay? So the neural net wins the world. That is the truth. So we are in an AI race. Every country wants it. Why wouldn't China want it? Everybody wants it. So except for the EU, because they're in red tape. Anyone here from the EU, by the way? The EU is red tape. There's scissors being cut on, something being opened, and then they have to go get tape and put it back on because they say, oh, no, it's not safe. Not safe. We can't open that. Then they close it for 2 years, and then it goes into disrepair. Suddenly the money's gone. That sounds like the EU technique at the moment on innovation. Am I right? I mean, I'm sorry, EU, but you guys, some of you guys know that. Hello from the EU. Yeah. You do have great food. Don't worry. So, number 3. All right, let's go through this. We've got Chinese New Year. We've got the AI race. Let's be real. We're already in this. So, not news to me, not news to you, not news to anybody. Number 3, $6 million question mark. How is it relevant? Okay, they're going to claim, oh, well, we did it with nothing. We built this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. The way I see this is it's a huge innovation in the way that we can do it. So if you want to read into the technical terms, maybe someone can chuck it in the chat. But generally speaking, there is an innovative idea here that could mean that more people can get into the game. So I then bring it to number 4 quickly here, which is Nvidia. Suddenly, no one wants their chips. And I'm going to give this 3 question marks. Wouldn't even more people potentially be wanting to get into the game? It's not just the big boys anymore. Maybe I can go and buy 17 GPUs and start Nvidia, some kind of AI crack process kind of program. Well, maybe I want to do that. I would say, being the bullish advocate here, that maybe more people want Nvidia chips. What do you think in the chat? What do you think in the chat? Yes, I agree. Bullish for Nvidia. ARM and Nvidia still the kings. Has this changed Nvidia from being the king? Does anyone know? We got some, but most of you guys are engineers. So we have 3,000 people here. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Appreciate it. On X, give it a like. On YouTube, give it a like, sub, whatever. That'd be appreciated. So Nvidia to me is still the king or the queen or whatever we want to call it. We still need the juice. And if, let's say, this so-called innovation concept here with the cheap is so good, couldn't other programmers, other companies potentially use the technique to get it? What I think this is it's crushing to OpenAI's valuation. Do you guys agree with this? I think it's crushing. And I think personally, they were absolutely blowing smoke for the last 6 months. Oh, we're going to IPO. Yeah, we all know why you guys want to IPO and do all these things, because you know that it's coming, it's crashing down. It's like the internet. You first come out, you build like an education software, you sell it to some guy. He's like, my God, this is the education software. It's so good. And then 1 year later, it's worth 0. Kevin O'Leary. That's pretty much it. So I think that the whole thing here is this is definitely innovation in terms of the idea of you being able to do something cheaply. Do I think it kills Nvidia's price? I don't think so. I actually don't think so. And I just feel like this is it. I'm going to go back to a story here. Okay. And I did this with our private group, but I just want to show you guys. Okay. So I'm going to search an article here. Okay. All right. Here we go. So I take you back in time, 2017, a period before COVID. Okay. Here we go. Finally, China manufactures a ballpoint pen all by itself. All right. Now, why I bring this to your point is you're saying, what the hell are you talking about ballpoint pens for, man? Because basically in 2017, China replicated the ballpoint pen. All right. Now, did they do a damn well job? Good job on it? Hell yeah, they did a damn well good job. I'm sure it was absolutely amazing what they did on it. But the point is, it's 2017, ballpoint pen. Okay. Now, if you then think about China's cars, are they catching up? Hell yeah, they're catching up. Are they overtaking Japan? I'd say so. Are they overtaking Korea? I'd say so. Are they overtaking America? They probably already have overtaken the Germans and maybe even some American cars. It's arguable, all right? You guys might disagree or agree, but if you look at them, they're pretty insane. So what I'm getting to is it takes time, all right? So what today is everyone's freaking out, okay? Everyone's freaking out. It's the end of the world. AI is dead. NVIDIA's valuation sucks. I always say you got to look ahead and you've got to think a little bit differently. If it's in the press, it could be in the price. Let's look at exhibit 5 now. We're up to 5, which is we have 0 puts in the system, okay? We have an FOMC meeting this week. We have everyone being complacent. And then all of a sudden this news drops and the market goes, you know what? I'm going to crush everybody and push it down this much. I mean, triple leveraged funds, and I feel bad for you if you're in triple leveraged fund here today on Nvidia. Could be down like what? How much is the triple leverage down right now? Because it's going to be inefficient, 30 something percent. Someone give me the Nvidia 3X. We'll check it out. So here's some comments. The big problem there is no reciprocation in the markets. It's USA versus them. I do hope Nancy bought all of her Broadcom. Oh yeah, she did sell a little bit of this, didn't she? It's different. You won't show EU is major mistake. This could be used as an excuse to cut rates, like a PSYOP. Okay. For the love of God, use SPY and Qs. Lol. I can't keep converting these future price levels, but I can't use SPY and Q, man, because it's ETF. We have to use the real market. Can't we just use SPX and NDX? SPX, NDX, not SPY Qs. SPY Qs is 2003. All right. We don't use SPYs and Qs. We use SPX and NDX. That's what you got to use, bro. I understand, though. Chinese auto reliability. Just buy a new one. We don't know that yet. But what I'm saying is the point is it's still happening. It's still innovating. It's still occurring even decades later. So don't get caught up in the narrative of, wow, my goodness, this is the end of the world. Because I just don't think it's the end of the world. In fact, it could be ultra bullish for Nvidia ultimately. Now, someone might have the news on whether there's anything else here on other stuff. 2 times from all-time high. Brain reading AI. Cheddarflow has 2 massive put trades on the Qs late Friday. Someone new. Look, we did share big trades on Qs and the 2 times leverage. So obviously we now know they were short. So obviously that was there. I'm looking to buy Nvidia close to 100. Fair enough. But this probably is a pretty good level if it does bounce. I would say today you could really look at the market from a perspective of, okay, it drops down. It then rallies back through. If it does that, then it shows you there was a buy the dip style mentality. Now you might say, well, yeah, I didn't get the dip. Yeah, but at least you saw the rip a little bit and you saw the V. So I often say buying the V, if you buy this price, you're generally more of a loser than if you buy this price. So remember that. Same price, totally different scenario. One, it's being bought up. So there's a kind of force or a rally with you. And on the left-hand side here, you're buying the dip, which is a guess. So you just got to remember that whenever you do it. And that's why most big traders, what they do is they scale as well. Not only because they have big volumes, but they also scale. 34% down a 3x leverage fund at the moment. Okay, thank you. All right. So it looks like a lot of you guys, basically 57% of you said no. And the rest of you said yes, in terms of, is this a big deal? I would say it's a huge deal in terms of innovative steps towards basically innovation of AI. I'm not a rocket scientist, so I don't know any further than that. But I think that often people panic. And I don't think it's a panic moment. People are saying it's the Sputnik point. People say it's Narada versus IE. People say it's something else. To me, what it really shows you is that there is no current moat, not in the hardware, which is where it's getting crashed today, but it's in the software. The moat is puny. Do you guys agree? The moat sucks. And that's why they wanted to list so quickly here. So, yeah, I think that's there. The big question, I think, is where did they get access to the training data? Who knows? I'm not here to speculate on these types of things. I'm just here to say whether I'm freaking out about the market or not. So I think the essence is, if we looked at the 1, we looked at the 2, we looked at the 3, some things like don't really add up. The release of the timing, the $6 million, I don't really care about that. I just think it's, some people are making a big deal out of 100 million or whatever compared to 6 million or something, whatever. Okay. You're still going to need compute power. Nvidia still can't make enough chips. They're still sold out until probably 6-12 months away. So ultimately, they're still in the game of hardware and they're still going to sell all their chips. And if anything, more smaller businesses and mid caps will say, well, wait, I want to get in this as well. And they'll order. Because before they were terrified. They said, I can't compete. How can I compete with these guys? These guys are buying, billions of dollars of stuff from Nvidia, and I just can't get in the game. So I'm going to give up and not bother with it. Well, now maybe they might say, well, I want it too. I think it's a massive improvement potentially here on the amount of compute that people will want. So I don't really see it as a negative there. Bigger AI players should be able to do AI more efficiently. Maybe tech doesn't have to grow in the infrastructure much. Sure. I think that people will purchase, though. I think mids will come in. Once all the February puts disappeared late last week, I piled into shorts. The gamma was holding the market up. Well done, David. I've got to say that's pretty good here. Tom, you're the best. Thanks for sharing all your gold nuggets. No worries. Thank you, Hot Potato. Appreciate it. First in, first out. Yep. Our market leaders will do the same thing. New market hype when the markets should be correcting. COVID pumped the EVs, really. Rate hikes now. All we need, AI. Okay. Walmart and Costco will have their own data centers. Yeah, everyone will. Companies will look at this and might cancel or change the numbers of Nvidia chip orders. This is not good for Nvidia. Do you really think that's going to happen, though? And even if they do cancel, is there someone else that's willing to buy? So they might say, oh, okay, we don't need this much, but we need this much. Is there someone else that is willing to step in to get in part of the AI infrastructure? I agree. Small AI functions are all that many mid and small caps need to generate good value. No reason to buy into the high-end applications for them. Okay. TSM. Okay. Is anything? Let's have a look at TSM. Down 11 as well. So I'm assuming semis across the board down big. I just don't believe this. I really don't believe this, guys. I just feel like, you could definitely say it's really bad, or you can say it's really good. And I think you can compare both. And I'm not really that bearish on it. I think that the market often overreacts. You generally will get rips. And if it is the beginning of the end, let's just say this is the beginning. Okay, let's go with the devil's advocate. This is bear moment. Everything's doomed. No one needs these chips. These companies are overpriced. They're all going to get cooked down. Now, if that does happen, then you've got to ask yourself the question, is the stock market actually going to go negative? Because, of course, the stocks are getting crushed today, including the S&P. Now, you'll notice that it is very segregated to semis. Russell 2000 down 1.13. So let's just quickly face up. If you're looking at this and saying, oh, the economy is dead. No. Okay? It is a straight no. The economy is not dead. Take a look. 1.14% down on the Russell. This is a segregated attack on semiconductors and obviously anything to do with the AI revolution kind of concept. Now, why is crypto down that much? I don't know. Just because it's risk on, risk off, I guess. But yeah, in general, it's hitting all those key levels we talked about. It's hitting those big first supports on the NAS, the weekly 20, so obviously an important level. It's hitting 59.50, 59.20, an important level for the US 500. So again, very key zones being reached here in the morning, exactly where you'd expect generally buyers to come in. And the Russell 2K is basically barely down. So it's really just hitting a certain section of the market. So for anyone that's looking at this sea of red and saying, oh, it's over, doom, the end of the world, I doubt it, guys. Okay. I really do. Crypto trades like a tech stock now. This is bullish for Russell Smalls. Certainly could be. And yeah, actually, when you think about it, it really is bullish because in essence, what this is saying is it's saying innovative companies can now potentially compete with Meta and Microsoft. This could be amazing. This could be amazing for the US as well, because if you think about it, small businesses being able to compete with the big guys. But remember, whenever they do compete, what is a Microsoft or a Meta going to do? So let's say they do compete and they're this like, let's call it ABCD. The ABCD company is like, you know what? I'm going to get into the AI game big time. I'm now leading in something. What is Microsoft going to do? Chips and Tesla says you're coping, in my opinion. What am I coping with? I don't give a crap. Whether the market's up or down, man, this much doesn't really worry me. It's more just the general people. So in terms of like you guys, it doesn't worry me because I'm not really that worried about this. As I've been talking about for a while, I don't think it's time to be leveraged in markets. We've mentioned that all of 2025 so far. I don't want to be leveraged. I don't want to be leveraged. Down the leverage, I'm out of the leverage. Just for now, there's a time when you want to leverage. There's a time when you don't want leverage. But just because the market's down like 4% or 3%, it's not a cope. It never is. They'll acquire. So yeah, basically they'll effectively acquire into this area, and that's I think very important. Bearish next 5 months, then bullish, says Aaron. Any old topic, says burned. Litigation. What's litigation? If you're scared, then just zoom out. That's good. That's true as well. You should probably zoom out here. DeepSeek destroys oligopolies. Okay. You nailed it. No fear and no puts means markets go down. Also, the big boys are running all the markets. So China needed a rip. It's actually easy to see. Yeah, I think that's very interesting and important to check it out here. DeepSeek during that on a low computation power is amazing and innovative. Yeah, well, you've got to think of it as innovation. So in essence, is it bearish? No, it's innovative to the AI kind of area. But again, look, I'm not an expert on that type of stuff, guys. What we're really good at is finding the key levels and cutting the narrative. So to me, it's interesting timing, very innovative. I don't think it'll destroy the semiconductor space. I think it'll just bring more people in. And I think the other point that you guys brought up before was small caps have a good chance of actually potentially finding some absolute diamonds over the next 6 months. And in essence, I see this as like the end of the dot-com boom. This is that innovative moment when everyone said, well, wait a second, this is a war for search. Remember that? I mean, does anyone remember Alta Vista, Netscape, Internet Explorer, Google, some other crap that was around? There were so many of these companies. So in essence, I think of it as a massive innovation time here to take us into the last third of this cycle. So yeah, I guess that's my synopsis on it. I don't really worry too much about these types of things because I don't think that they're necessarily bearish. And you can see that represented in the overall market. The semis are definitely the ones that are getting flogged. And again, I'm not that bearish on semis. I think they're at those okay levels. Ask Jeeves, that's right. AOL. GeoCities, my goodness, I forgot about that one. Angel Fire, I don't know what that is. Anyone remember stickdeath.com? That shows my age. Stickdeath.com. What do you mean with suspicious timing? Well, it's just timing that would be the best narrative possible to go into the Chinese New Year to get all of these things up. Now, speaking of which, what isn't down is China, up quite nicely, up another percent. Obviously, K-Web and some of those others are going to be doing all right, you would have to think today. So they're up while the rest of the markets are down. And these still represent, really cheap overall, innovative companies that have been basically valued at very little, even though we're in an AI race. So what I see this as is it could be a very strong catalyst towards innovative companies inside of China, potentially getting a bit better PE ratio. So you've obviously got to look at this and say, well, you know what we've been talking about really on the channel for the last 8, 9, 10 months is kind of coming to fruition in some ways, which is that we're seeing a bottoming of the Chinese market, which you can see here via HSI. It's been a series of higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. By the way, if anyone's from Perth or Brisbane, just a quick announcement, chat, comment there, sign up now. We're coming in February. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Totally free event. I'm hosting it. And we've got a couple of speakers, myself included. I'll be sharing a couple of things that are pretty damn important for you guys in 2025, 26. Remember, this year is the year of no emotion. That's for sure. And we're doing that in Brisbane and Perth. So make sure to click the links if you're able to attend in Australia. It's going to be cool. Hoping to get over to the US as well later this year, which will be sweet. They deleted the internet in 2016. What is used now is allegedly AI cubicles. I don't know what you're talking about there, Anonymous, but okay. I feel like there will be a China rip coming after Lunar New Year. Imagine Z bringing another bazooka right now. Oh, if you were caught offside here, remember, did you guys see the shares that I put on the weekend video? And I've said this for a few days now. The shorts are big time, yeah? So there's shorts all over the Chinese market. And on top of that, we had the biggest outflows ever recorded, which is historically incredibly bullish. And you might say, what the hell? Big outflows bullish? The fear, guys, the fear. So this is a perfectly timed announcement to get it going on. And if you didn't already know, if you actually go over to X and you look at our X account, follow us over there. Welcome to anyone that's joining us. Nancy. Always gets me every time. DeepSeek, #1 at the moment. Look at that, #1 on the top chart. So everyone's checking out the new thing. I find it ironic as well that for some reason top charts and it's got threads, which remember when that was #1 for like 48 hours and then it died? And it's back. There we go. All right. So Chinese stocks, you got to see this as bullish. Obviously, the tech side is going to be bullish. I think that the market's going to start moving some money in there. We know people are squeezed. We know that there's a decent chance that this could have, that kind of fever event around it where people get really hyped. And the one thing about, especially the Asian trading markets is when hype comes through, hype gets real. So anybody that knows the Chinese market before, you trade 2015, 16, you guys know how crazy it went. It was like 2021 in the US market. So obviously, if it really gets steam, markets can move pretty quickly. For anyone that does trade the Chinese market, let us know in the chat and whether you agree with that synopsis or not. 8 times sales market caps. DeepSeek's been out for 3 weeks. Wonder why MM chose today to crash the market. I think it's all well timed as well. Maths complacency. Everyone went super bullish off the CPI. Obviously, you guys were hopefully early. We then see those all-time highs, and you have to get a nice negative narrative as well. Let's go back to the S&P for a moment here. What we had was an incredible amount of gap ups. So this will actually fill a lot of those gaps. Now, remember, it's leaving a monster gap. Historically, we'll usually fill in the future. So we're sitting here, we're filling 1, 2, 3 major gaps. We've left a gap, of course, now at the top up here with the sell. We've got that all-time high, which has got FOMO coming into it. As I said on the weekend, we're at a call wall, big kind of level here at 6,100. We end up seeing a couple of weird dark pools at the top. Obviously, they turned out to be probably pretty smart. Anyone actually sell at the highs, by the way, in the chat? Let us know. Panic in the street, says Calvin. Yep, I'm coming if I win lottery. Cool, Mike. I hope you win the lottery in the market and get what you need. I'm more concerned about the housing situation. The US seems like a buying opportunity. I don't think housing is a very good buy right now. Michael, you were a legend, by the way. This man here, I'll just tell you this. Michael literally had surgery on his back. I'm not even kidding you. I very much appreciate this. Took some kind of, I can't imagine what kind of massive, stimulant kind of thing to get out of that hospital really quickly. Within 1 day, came to our trading event. Bro, you are a legend. Thank you very much. I don't know how you were there, but I appreciate that. Tom, what about crypto? Any big moves for now? We'll talk about it in a moment. I just kind of want to mention these levels here. So obviously we've got this key zone. Everything's down. That's right. Except for China. China's up. And silver and gold, our favorite gold, still holding well. Surprised how well staples are holding up this morning. They're defensives. Remember, this is, again, I want to repeat this. This is not a generalized full market sell. It is a sell predominantly on just semis. Okay, it is a semiconductor sell and certain businesses in the AI field. It is not a broad-based sell. So it's like Mag 7, basically. I sold short. Well done. I sold 1/4 of my Oclo at 38. Cool. Nice work. Buying a house now would be foolish unless you love the house. Buying the house at the top. Yeah, I think there are a lot of markets are probably getting close to tops. Excited to share on the AMD has integrated the new DeepSeek V3 model. Hey, is this real? Oh my goodness. They're fast. They're fast, guys. They're doing the deals. Let me check out AMD for a moment here. 4.7, only down 4.7. That's okay, actually. It's a pretty good level. 117. Excited to share that AMD has integrated the new DeepSeek V3 model into Instinct MI300X GPUs or something, designed for peak performance with SG, what? Lang, I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. Is that true? Anyone confirm that for me? Uh, in America, you've been buying the top of the housing market for 50 years, or you need to go to Asia and Australia and the UK and America and Hong Kong, and you'll see the top for 50 years. America is still relatively okay compared to some of those markets. Even Canada's crazy. Banks KRE doesn't look like a crash. It's not a crash, guys. It is particularly just yeah, Michael's a cyborg. Yeah. Yeah, this is not a whole stock market. That is the whole stock market. It's 35% of it. Semis and tech pump, the other things are dead. I think it's a broadening base, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Pretty much anonymous, yeah. AMD has DeepSeek integrated. Okay, thanks, Victor. There you go. So, good news story, guys. AMD has done a deal, and we're all good. AMD's on. Looks like we got a super chat, by the way, for Eka here. Aurora, thank you very much. MYR, $6. If anything, China stocks will get a boost. So Barber, etc. Yeah, I tend to agree. So to me, it's China getting a boost here. Great timing. A lot of people going to be caught off guard after the CNY. If this keeps going around, keeps getting the hype. A lot of people are going to buy into China, especially internally, if they really believe it. And this is a strong case for that data that we shared. I'll share it with you guys again. So that is the major China equity ETF flows getting absolutely destroyed to a record low down here. And that's a huge deal. So that is a massive, massive, massive outflow after a huge inflow. We know that these outflows historically have been turning points for the Chinese market. And then, of course, on top of that, as we already said, and before that, where did I put it? Oh, anyway, I don't know where I put the other one, but basically it was just that we had huge amounts of shorts. There's still a massive short overall level there. So AMD's done a deal with the new stuff, DeepSeek. And DeepSeek have had leading module in the last years or so. Again, this is the thing. It's not news to most people out there. This is just a really good excuse to move money from USA into China. I would say that's part of it. They are using Hopper high-end GPUs. Now, I don't know if that's confirmed. So is it again confirmed that they use like 40,000 Hoppers or something? I don't know, some amazing amount for this. I don't know. That's the story on X. AMD is recovering much faster than Nvidia. Yeah. The DeepSeek data is going around. So there you go. Turns out we heard it here first. AMD have done the deal with DeepSeek, and the stock is improving by 0.2% per minute so far. No way they don't have hundreds. I don't even know. I was legit depressed when I sold my semiconductors in December and Nvidia last week. Felt like I was being weak selling an SPX, but if my feelings, it's all good, man. The US economy is way too inflated and running at PE that hope and caught with fumes. Yeah, look, again, people are going to say about the valuations and stuff. There's no doubt that you have to be very careful if you're on a 10-year horizon. So I've got kind of like a few thought processes for 2025. Number one, 2025, no emotion. Okay. That's my new slang for this year. If it's in the press, it's in the price. Obviously, patience, guys. React, don't predict. There's going to be a lot of crazy events. 2025 is going to be just like this the whole way through, really. Up, down, all around. And certainly, it needs to be a point where I would think leverage is the enemy this year. You've already seen that a few times. Leverage is most likely the enemy. It's not like 2024, 2023, where everybody is climbing the wall of fear. Market emotions are going very quickly each way. We just saw like almost 5% off the NASDAQ before, now recovered a little bit. But yeah, it was down big time. So huge flash crashes, lots of complacency, huge abilities for people to get really, really bullish straight away. I would say we're most likely going into a later cycle. So I'm expecting potentially healthcare to do better this year. I've been talking a lot about this in our private community. Obviously, I've been sharing some charts and some stuff I'm looking at. I think it could be the year of healthcare. And obviously, there is no doubt in my mind that we're going to get our gold. Why do we not get our gold to $3,000? Why does DeepSeek doesn't worry us on gold? So yeah, I'm still thinking this looks really good. And of course, been talking about gold since forever. I basically just said the same thing now for 18 months, which is 3K, 3K, 3K. But I still think gold is going to 3K plus. So why not? People are going to chase the gap fill early. Yeah, there's going to be a bit of shenanigans today. It's really difficult to exactly predict whether the market will fully recover and hold. But I would say that the gap fill will be chased. The levels reached this morning during the live stream are the levels that we had 59.50, 59.20, NASDAQ, surprisingly, exactly into the zone. I didn't think it would actually sell this quick. I thought it might stop around in this area here. But anyway, went a bit lower. And I didn't change this. So this is exactly where we had our previous first support. So some good supports here getting hit. All right, so gold, let's go on to a few other markets. First up, gold, still bullish, no real changes. Even if it does get dumped here, I'm still bullish overall. Similar to the markets at the moment, I still think the stock market in the US can continue higher, even with DeepSeek information or whatever you want to call it. Gold, I think it'll make a new high soon. I'd rather it consolidates here and then makes a new high. That's better. And my initial aim for gold is actually just sub 3,000, 29.50. So I'm thinking that you can effectively take this pullback in time kind of area, maybe shorten it a little bit because it's not that, even, and then push that out. Now that's going to get you to just below 3,000 from the break. So around 3,000. I think we'd stop a little early. I did some fibs on it on the weekend and I got that level 29.50. So gold looks good. Silver looks really good if it can break through 31. So 31 plus, really strong for silver, certainly looking good. I think the US dollar is going to continue to fall. This could be a massive inflection point for the dollar, a massive inflection point. So we're going to be obviously looking at US dollars potentially to weaken for the rest of the year. This is what happened during Trump's first stint. I've shared the data on our normal YouTube show. Make sure to sub for that. Also, thank you to the 4,000 people coming in here. Yes, we've got a flash crash. However, we've gone through whether we need to panic or not so far. So far, we're not panicking. We don't have enough evidence either way, really. It's mostly just follow the weekly, pull that out and you'll see where we are. The US dollar, I think, is weakening for sure. I'd say this could be a massive turn point. And the point that we really looked at was the euro. So if you actually look at the euro, you'll notice here, it's really had that early break of the trend line. So this was exceptional trading. Really enjoying the euro long. I'm hoping you can get up to about 1059 and then possibly weaken and then regain back later on. So what do you guys think? Do you reckon this is the end of the dollar strength for now? Is it going to continue to weaken or something else? Apollo, $5. Do you think the 590 range is a good buy for the SPY, or is there room to dip this week? Well, again, that's the $1 million question from a lot of people. We flash crashed this morning. We filled into 595, 592. We're not into the gap that's down here in the 580s. Remember, put this in perspective. This is January 14th. Today's date is January 27th. We have taken off literally a week. Okay. So it may seem like a flash crash, but it's not yet. There's nothing like that. And the rest of the market, remember, the Russell 2K is barely down. The German DAX is not down much. It is a semiconductor only kind of hit, really, in big tech. So yeah, 59.50, 59.20 is where we have first support. Do I know that's going to be the drop level? You never know anything. You haven't got any evidence. You're just saying, okay, do I think that's a key level? Yes. Do I think the market algorithms will most likely buy a bit there? Yeah, I think so, because I think retail will buy a bit here. It's not weakening, it's allocating. Yep. Bitcoin bulls tracking no passengers higher. Okay. Attacking no passengers higher. I'm holding my stock. I'm not letting them get my money for now. Fair enough. Sup, chat? What's this crash title for views? Well, technically it is crashing. I don't know what you think a crash is, but when you're 4% down in one day for the NASDAQ, you're going to say it's a crash. It is a crash. It's a flash crash, man. That is what it is. Actually, not clickbait today. Technically, is flash crash, guys. Ethereum here, 3,000. Obviously, the major support. I would have guessed pretty much that is the low for Ethereum in this bull rally. I already said that once. So to get down here again is certainly special for this particular coin. The bulls, if you're a real bull, 3450 is such a huge level. 3450, 3500 down here. It's definitely the buy, the investors, the position bases, that kind of stuff. Is there good support? Yes. Is it good to see where it is right now? No. If it rallies and leaves a wick by the end of the day, is that good? Yes. Very good. Okay. If it takes a low and then rallies, would that be amazing? That would be insane and very, very bullish indeed. But if it closes below the low, that is incredibly bad. Okay. So there are a lot of scenarios here that could happen. At the moment, all you can say is it's a good general allocation level at around this zone. I always go to Bitcoin first because Bitcoin's basically like the S&P 500. So how do I feel about this? A bit lower than you'd want. You'd really want it to hold 100. It's not that worrying. It could still be part of a distribution. So there is now a case for this to be a UT, like buying climax kind of concept, Wyckoff, similar to Nvidia. If that is true and we break below here, wow, that's really bearish. So if you lost that level and didn't recover it quickly, and I actually think the level's 88, by the way. Yeah, that would not be good. So I thought this was the white low. I've already kind of thought this is an excellent buy for Bitcoin. We talked about it. I still maintain for now, I think that was an excellent buy for Bitcoin. And I don't really see this as super bearish. What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know. You're bearish, Bitcoin, bullish? Let us know those thoughts. Do margins get called pre-market or just at open? Generally, it's the open, and there's usually a clear time. So you get cleared through the day. DeepSeek still isn't working. Servers can't handle the high demands. That's possible. I don't know. Someone can confirm for you. BTC overdue for a big correction. It kind of did get a fairly large correction, though. You've got to remember this is actually 17. It's not 30, but 17. A lot of the other cryptos lost 30, which is the traditional kind of pullback. If you have a look at, crypto generally speaking, and you look at the other previous bull markets, a 30% is not out of the question. I would probably rather not see this dump the low, though, because that is very distributing. And if you get a really huge, like this is totally different. This thing here is totally different structure, which by the way, we were bullish on in comparison to this structure. That is worrying structure if it goes bearish. So I like this as a bull position still. I don't really like it as a bear position. Double top on Bitcoin, it'd be more likely to be a Wyckoff distribution, but whatever, we can call it whatever we want. Ultimately, the double top would be this. Of course, there's always two cases. If it bears below, I would say it has to break 88K. That would be quite negative. BTC is so unpredictable short term. Yeah, sometimes. So there are day trades you can do on it sometimes when you have edge, but just because today is like a massive short day doesn't mean that you should be like, oh, wow, I have huge edge on buying the dip or something. Generally, I find Bitcoin is best played over months and then, of course, cycles. And then if you're going to day trade it, find edge. So there are many people in our community that do it. We've got a day trading masterclass for that kind of stuff. It is doable, but you just have to be really patient. Again, patience, react, don't predict in this case. So today is a prediction. That makes it more difficult. You've got to say if you're an investor or a position scaler, then you can make decisions on days like today. If you're just trying to buy the dip as a day trader, and that's a bit of a gamble, so you've got to treat it as such. BTC down to 35K, says JC82. I don't know about that right now. I'm biased. BTC goes down and I buy more. Fair enough. BTC is a very strong and the best crypto. Let's be real. Nvidia, yeah, we looked at it before. It's down quite a lot. How do you see the VIX playing out over the next few days? Generally, if the VIX is spiking, which of course it is, when you get these incredible spikes, and I'll share the stat with you at the close once we get the information. Remember, if the VIX spikes, I think it is over 50% in a day, then the chance of the point of kind of like the market being a false like move and therefore the market actually ripping up higher is really high. So remember this day over here during the 18th of December where we got that massive one-day VIX hit. So when we get a VIX that big and it gaps up like it did, it's traditionally just a blip, like a buy the dip style moment. So I'll share with you the stats as we get them. But traditionally, when the VIX comes up really big into the open and has those big 50% plus opens, it's actually not as bearish as you think if you play the stats. It's not as bearish as you think. You're not going to hear me say I'm really, really bearish. I'm incredibly worried about where the US valuations are, of course, but that doesn't stop you having to be objective. So I might have thought the US valuations were insane a year ago on some stocks, but they're not quite as insane as 2021 when we saw companies that made no money being traded at thousands of times forward earnings and all sorts of things. So you got to remember, bubbles tend to pop when no one thinks they're a bubble, which of course, a lot of people, you could definitely argue the bears are totally dead right now. Like I would go on X, there used to be a lot more. There's a lot less now. Obviously, the bears are pretty dead, but they are still kind of out there. And I think that you usually see a market sector do much worse. And I haven't got one of those yet. I don't have a freak out bonds. We don't have financials freaking. If I had to guess where I think the next crisis is going to come from, I would guess the crisis is going to come from crypto and AI. So what that means is that I believe it's already happening. You're going to see huge amounts of debt written on crypto, and then crypto will explode, and the debt, other markets will go down. People will say, well, okay, now you got to pay back this debt. And then the crypto will be exploding at the same time. And all of a sudden, there's going to be a huge amount of money that's owed, effectively mass margin. So I would say usually new technology brings crashes. And I'm looking for it, but I haven't found it yet. It's not through smart investments, just creating synthetic ETFs. When the governments and something buy crypto, that's the peak. Trust me, it will happen. Well, Truly's been watching for a long time. Still here. Hey, Angry Bear. What's up, man? Legend, thanks for the insights. No worries. We will certainly share those at the end of today. How else will Goldman, JP Morgan, BlackRock make their coin? Exactly. Look, what we saw with MSTR, which, by the way, how much is MSTR down today? So I'm not really too worried about the VIX, but we need the close day stat. And then from the close day stat, you can start to build some evidence. MSTR M3333. So, yeah, I feel like MSTR really shows you the demand for taking risk from fixed assets and the demand from people to take outlandishly risky kind of positions. I heard today, I'm just going to say this here. I haven't heard this in a long time. So most of you don't know, but I used to work in, obviously asset management. And I remember seeing people that owned hotel rooms. Okay. I'm just going to tell you this story because I just think it's really weird. And I heard it again today and I thought, what the hell? So basically, this is where you buy. Has anyone ever heard of, timeshares and stuff? Obviously, but these are like where you buy a room in a hotel and you get like a certain amount of yield. Well, these were shocking investments and they actually happened near the end of a cycle, e.g. going into the global financial crisis here in Australia anyway. And they're back, baby. I couldn't believe my ears when I heard it. People were telling me I've got to buy hotel rooms again. And I was like, whoa, illiquid hotel rooms are back, hey? So there you go. Hotel rooms are back on the drawing card, and I haven't seen those ones since I first got into the industry. So yeah, hotel rooms are back. Crypto condos are back. And in fact, I got advertised on X today whether I wanted to take a crypto loan to buy housing. Sounds good to me. What's up here? Broody King, $1.99. Thank you very much for your donation. Much appreciated. Trump coin is now down 50% in 7 days. I'm surprised it's not 70% in 7 days, but there you go. Yes, I hear that timeshares previously worked in finance. Yeah, timeshares were a huge deal, and they kind of never went away. They're still around in the world. But cruise liners are doing it, selling rooms. No. What? Really? You can buy cruise liner rooms? Holy moly, guys. This is worrying. Cruise liner rooms. It's the new version of timeshare. You get to buy a boat that's in salt that needs maintenance, that gets destroyed if the economy goes bad. Sounds like a great idea. Anyone else want to buy those? What are your thoughts on the US market open? I think at the moment the market's kind of just come off what I would technically call pretty good lows. So, and my thoughts are that I think there'll be like a dip buy, usually a dump to scare everyone off, and then hopefully this. Not today, but you know what I mean? Like, hopefully it kind of works like that. Generally speaking, there's usually some freak panic the market will do. That's a lot of futures market, though. The market's starting to absorb this information. So that's a tough point. 59.50, 59.20, though, is probably the key for the stocks. So if we have a look, there are not that many puts sitting here, but you can see there were a bunch of puts loaded at 60.50. Then the next level is that 59.50. And if we scroll down here and we have a look at the markets for, let's say, the 31st, and then the markets here for March, just as an example, you still get a lot of that 5900s for March. And if we look at the 31st, you're getting a decent amount around 59.50. I expect that to be massive by the end of the day. So the market would usually want to sit low for a bit to get a lot, if it is going to go long, to get a ton of puts through. So I don't know who sells on days like this. It's probably one of the stupidest days you can sell, but people do it. And there'll be a lot of people, I believe, that'll line up for puts this morning and protection. And generally, the market will want to suck that protection in if it is to go long. So I would say that there's a good chance that the market may want to stabilize around here as well while it sucks puts in. If it sucks a ton of puts in and heaps and heaps of people buy puts, then we're going to see it on tomorrow's zero DTEs. Once we see it on tomorrow's zero DTEs, again, we get more evidence. So that's why I always say, like, you know, in any market, you want to say, what type of trader are you? Are you an investor? Are you a position-based buyer that can just buy and scale in on dips? Are you somebody that looks for the V? So instead of buying the dip, you look for the actual rip and then buy that V rip. Are you someone that looks for replication? And if you look for replication, this is probably not one of the best days for you to trade. If you're looking for position basing or investing, it's a pretty good day. If you're somebody that's wanting to buy the V, you've got to watch it all day like paint drying. What time do most brokerages force margin calls? I know the Australian timing. The American timing will be slightly different. Someone might be able to tell us in the chat here just to give me the updated time. DeepSeek is based on ChatGPT 4 copied SW. I'm not sure about that. We do know, though, in the breaking news, AMD's done a deal with DeepSeek. So I'm not sure where the stock is now. Let's have a quick look here. The story of the day, for anyone that doesn't know as well, is DeepSeek. I don't know, the picture of I thought it was unusual whales. I got to be real. When I actually saw it come up on my feed about a week ago, because I was already starting to see it, you always do when you're in the X area, I thought it was unusual whales. And I was like, what is this new thing they've made? And then I was like, oh, okay, it's not that. Yeah, so again, AMD down a little bit less than the rest. The story of the day is, of course, Nvidia and semis down big time. They were down more. We saw like a 124 handle, I believe, or 123 even for Nvidia in the pre. The big worry is, how does Nvidia close? We're not going to know that yet. We will update you guys at the end of today's session. MSTR just bought 10,000 BTC. They'll do it every time, so there's no doubt on that. Pre-market still red, yet has cooled off a little. Crypto is settled. Short-term overreaction, very much a possibility. The whale logo. Yeah, doesn't DeepSeek have a whale logo? The whale logo, guys. Look. A whale. That's not a whale? Don't know what you're looking at, but I thought it was a whale. Number one on the top charts for apps today. 90% of papers are Chinese long content window. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. So obviously a lot of opinions coming in here about today's DeepSeek. Doesn't matter to US companies do use DeepSeek. They're still going to need chips. I agree. Energy and companies like VRT selling off makes 0 sense other than based selling. Well, look, what did I say on the weekend video, guys? We have got no fear in the markets. Look, there's no fear. Look at the puts. There's zero. The puts are low. This is very low. And yeah, okay, it's been here for a while. But with low puts and a massive switch in sentiment, which went from 25% bullish to probably above 50% in like a week. And by the way, we went bullish last time on CPI. And then you've got to crush them. And this is definitely a great opportunity to do some crushing. Is it all part of the storyline? Well, the markets are designed to steal money from people. So, yeah. Not the point, DeepSeek. The US is not allowing it, etc. The point is it has been shown to be possible. It isn't about being Chinese or not perfect. It's about narrative for the future. I agree. So this is the positive aspect here. It's the innovative concept, which is that we have now a lower potential compute capability. And again, someone mentioned that's probably pretty bullish for the Russell stocks. Yeah, I think the correct Russell stocks could be good. So small caps and mid caps are there. Victor says, what are your thoughts on quantum computers being able to crack BTC code? I believe it's quite far, like a long way away. I also think quantum is a long way away. Look, this is all part of where we expect it to be. We're actually in exactly what you would expect, the AI hype mania. If anything, people say this is the Sputnik moment for what's going on in the crypto world. I really think it's not so much that moment. Well, it is kind of. It's like the internet, guys. I see this as kind of like 1999. And we're coming into Y2K. Remember Y2K, the bug that was going to kill everyone's computers and everything was going to explode? That's definitely old school if you don't know, but you need to look that one up. And of course, I see it as like the competition of random companies all trying to compete for the share. And this is just the natural thing. This is what you have to expect. Wow, a new innovation. It is there. It's probably real. And I don't think it's going to kill chip demand. The wind and narrative changed. Yep. Crypto isn't close to stopping. ETH is going to drop to 2,500. I mean, possible, but we're certainly at this key level. Millennials have never seen a proper stock market crash. Keep that in mind. I totally agree. What happens if you keep buying the dip and it keeps dipping? Yeah, people will get absolutely stuffed. So this is a good point. As I say, Nathan, 2025, in my opinion, and 26, if we get there, is not a good idea to be leveraged, in my opinion. I think we're at an incredible risky point here for US valuations. Remember this, and I'll say this right now, and I want you guys to actually answer this question before I answer it, in my opinion. Here we go. Are we going to see, and I'll preface this, an index, okay, lost decade in the US, okay? I'm really interested to see what you guys think about this. Yes or no? So we're in an innovative time. There's no question. But I do want to, what's up, Dr. Horton? Always good to have you here. Hi, Tom. After today's crash, is semis the support? Good to buy right now. We're right around the correct supports for some of the stocks. But semis, like, so you look at semiconductors, SMH, it's around the right area, 244. So what we can do is we can pull a fixed range volume profile through the whole thing. you're going to see it's a pretty decent range. We've seen a lot of transactions through here. Again, we're just going back to where we were like a week and a half ago, and we're still in the buy range. So this is theoretically still in the buy range. Now, someone said before, if you keep buying and it keeps dipping, where do you get stuffed over? Well, you're certainly starting to get really stuffed over down here in the 230s. So I've never been, I've said it all year so far, and I'll keep saying it. I'm not as confident in the market bull side as I have been in 2024. I'm still confident now. I still don't think this is the worry point, but this all has the signs of issues in the future. BTC down to 35K by an S&P 3200. So that's a bearish narrative right there. DeepSeek news is 1 week old. Why should it impact today? Something else is going on. Again, there are no puts in the market. It is definitely a run on the markets. Jose says here, FAFO 400 million traded off tweet. Most Texans over most TXNS over 24 hours. BAFO. What is this? I don't know what this is. Cool. Thank you very much for the $2 though. Always buy the hood dip. Yeah, hood's been pretty good stock. Y2K. Yeah. Tom, that's what Greenspan flooded the market with QE. Yep. Volatility with a blow off top. Traditionally, again, I'm just going to show you how markets tend to end. So again, let's go back in time here a little bit. We're going to use SPX. So if we actually go back and we kind of look at previous moments, so there's no doubt that this is a fairly decent flash crash, 9.5% last year. Obviously, we were bullish it. Now, let's go back to some of the great times of 2007, and of course, the famous one, which is obviously the tech boom. Now, you do start to chop a lot near the highs. Okay, it's basically a distribution. So you'll see you get a lot of chop. You traditionally get a really heavy sell into generally a very big bounce, and that's that kind of last buy the dip, big V. Everything's fantastic. Let's go and see. Now that's a 13.4% with the drop on it of 12. Okay, 10, and you get a drop before that. That's a 10 drop. All right, let's go over here and have a look at the pre-tech boom. A 10 drop followed by a 12 drop followed by a 12% before. So you had 12, 12, 12. You had a lot of drops. Now it's really important to look at that and understand why, because there is heaps of BTFDs. There are a lot of people out there. You've got to remember the animal instincts of this market, and you guys are correctly saying this, is buy. The Fed will never let the market crash. Buy. Just keep buying. You never lose. Okay, that's the animal instincts of the market right now. And that's exactly when you want to be most terrified. So you should be terrified because valuations are stupid. You might say they're not stupid. I think they're stupid. I think most of us would agree they're not very good. Leads into the next point here. But the key is you usually get a lot of sells that are really heavy, and then you get a lot of strong rips. And we did just get a sell. Okay, so let's go over to today. All right, here we are. We've got some little drops here, but we're still, I would say, going on a pretty good trajectory. So we've had a little sell off here, 4 and a bit. No 10, no 11s, no wild action. I'd expect worse with a big rip still in it. So I think it's still resilient there. Now, you guys are saying no, 53% of you to the lost decade, 52. So I'm probably going to disagree with the majority here and say that I think a lost decade is very possible in an index. And the reason is because if we have 36% of the S&P 500 made up of basically a couple of companies, then what happens if you compress their earnings in the future by a crash or something else? It is, and then you get a rotation out of there. Remember, today kind of shows you that is possible. We could have a new company. We're in an innovative time. All things are possible. So just remember, it's this concentration that causes potential lost decades. So the higher that concentration gets, the more likely index investing, which is now the most popular thing to do, wasn't when I first got into the industry back in 07. It is now. And it's certainly a concern, something to think about. All caps for tickers only. You didn't ask if it was possible. Asked, are we going to see it? Yeah, no, I am understanding. I want to know whether we think we're going to see it. Michael says, stupid. I don't think it's that stupid. We were in a lost decade after 2008. Look at tech destroying the legacy. No, we were in the lost decade before that. So yeah, traditionally you don't want to be going into like a double lost decade though. That would be like Japan. 2019, China economy crashing equals COVID release. 2025, China economy crashing equals DeepSeek release. Well, as we said before, I think the DeepSeek release is pretty strong into Chinese New Year to can't change that narrative. So to me, I'm bullish in terms of price action, obviously on Chinese stocks. I think that the squeeze here, the narrative's been so bad, so that's obviously bullish. We have to like the levels that we hit this morning. Obviously, 59.50, very strong for the S&P. 59.20, exceptionally good level to see a potential buyer. The Nasdaq hit down to 20,700, which is a level that we had in our video. So obviously we like that. And it doesn't affect, the metals or gold or anything like that. Silver, still looking at 31. This is just a brief recap here of everything. I'm certainly still thinking Tesla's stuck in the middle of nowhere. So don't worry too much about that one. US dollar breaking down. Obviously, I think this will now go towards 106. So I feel like any rips should be met by a 106 sell. VIX up 40% this morning. If it can manage to get 50+%, that brings a very, very interesting stat for the bulls, which we'll share at the end of today's video. Bitcoin only down 2.72 now. So obviously recovering off these lows. Ethereum hit 3,000, which is pretty strong. Let's have a look at a couple other cryptos. So we'll look at Sol here. And then we'll go to ADA. So Sol found a new low. Not much to really report there. I mean, yes, you can claim it's role reversal, resistance, support area, but nothing much else. ADA. Look at ADA. Pretty good support. Very nice. Hit into that really massive sell that we got the other session. Gets close. Takes the stops out here. Again, looks kind of oversold, but see. And the other one would be, I guess, XRP, but it should be just doing its own thing. And yeah, still in an overall upward trend. Thoughts on treasuries? Yeah, treasuries will be up today. 1.32. Has it broken our key level? Yes, if it does this today. So this may be the low for treasuries for now. Yeah. And I think it could be a reminder to a few people as well, if they remember this past a week, that maybe it's time to start stacking a few T's. So yeah, big level. Interested to look at further dark pool narratives around here. Volume not exceptional, so I'd be looking at the volumes today, and we're looking for a big dark pool trade. So if we get one, we'll report on it. DeepSeek / Trump just smoke screens. What I blame refs on the KC game. Nvidia is likely to close gap. Yeah, I'm still cracking up. Bitcoin lost 100K right when you said no reason to be bearish in crypto in your last video. Yeah, so I think you mentioned this, Chris. I actually responded to. So, yeah, I'm not bearish on crypto. So it doesn't change. I'm still no reason to be bearish on crypto. So again, you can say this point, and if you think about it, in the last video I said complacency in the market, no reason to buy the stocks index at this price because it's more likely to go sideways to down. Or you can also say that from my video. Guess what? It did go down. Now, did I expect it to go down 4? Hell no. Hell no, dude. I expected to drop it to 59.50 leisurely. This isn't leisurely. This is a bleh, straight down. But anyway, thanks for the comment. VIX has reached 50% this morning. Yeah, I have to look at the stat and see if it needs to close there. What do you think of XRP? I think it's doing well because of the tax stuff and other things. Look, I obviously have hated XRP for like 5 years. I allowed it to be free in my mind because, it obviously lost the SEC stuff. So it got rid of all that crap. So yeah, XRP is just like any other crypto, can go up. DCA time, guys. Yep, possibly. How high can TLT go? Really high if we go into a recession. If we don't, which obviously at the moment we don't want to be talking about that, then, at this point, you'd probably be looking around 93. Please look at XRP. Will it reach $4? All that matters is market cap. So have a look at coin market. Whenever you're asking the question, if someone just yells out a rando price, just think, okay, if you haven't mentioned market cap, you don't really know what the hell's going on. So you have to think about market cap. So here we have Bitcoin, all right? It's $2 trillion. Here we have Ethereum. It's 370. Could Ethereum double to 800? It's done it before in terms of ratios, so it's possible. It's certainly very possible. You can probably claim that's possible. If you take a look at XRP, it's 162. So it's currently trading at 283. Could it hit 4? I would say yes, it's possible. Okay. Solana, obviously 200 is possible. You know, these are possible things. If someone says XRP to $2 trillion in this run, I don't think so. Okay. That's just my opinion. So you've got to think also, if we go to Bitcoin, what's its market cap versus gold? You know, it's really important to think of a ratio there as well. But what I can tell you is Bitcoin is certainly totally up in the game versus print. So if you have every dollar that's going in the system, Bitcoin is going up quite considerably versus that dollar. Better than gold, of course. How about Amazon? I'm not sure how Amazon's trading today. Down 4.26. I still think it's a flag pattern, so I'm not that bearish on it. 224 takes us down to the bottom here. Not a bad level for Amazon. Again, should Amazon really be selling here? What do you guys think? Is this news bullish or bearish for Amazon? Let us know in the chat. I'll read it out. Hi, Tom. This week's going to be wild with the FOMC. Yeah, we didn't get into that yet. That's the 28th, yeah. And all the earnings. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we haven't even talked about the earnings. I mean, we've got earnings Wednesday and Thursday in particular. We got SoFi this morning as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on this week. There's no doubt. Lost decade for Western world, very possible. Beginning next decade, the world will be a different place. Yeah, you've got to consider it for sure. SMCI. What about SMCI? MSTR is done. Maybe. Probably not. It lost the SEC case. No. Got rid of it. So the SEC case wasn't on top of it anymore. The guy that was in charge of the SEC got canned. SoFi got cooked on guidance. Okay. So thoughts here on Amazon here. Bearish, less demand to train modules. I think with AWS data center. Oh, okay. Train module. Jeff Bezos has a bald head, so I'm bullish. Jeez, that's good analysis, I'll tell you what. SoFi, let's have a look. SoFi earnings are out. So with Amazon, I would say it's at around the right technical level. SoFi 1551 down into this level. Not easy to buy there. Totally different to, even though it is still flaggy style pattern off earnings. I guess guidance must be bad because the earnings itself is okay. Again, remember this, guys. The earnings so far in the US has been very strong. The earnings have been very good. Everything's still pointing to that's what you need. You need good core earnings and good core earnings and guidance. Guidance traditionally for most companies so far has been very good. 2024 was the best year ever. It was the best year ever, but they went down. Oracle. This Larry Ellison guy is a bit of a beast. 169.20. Did you know that founder-led? I actually shared this on LinkedIn. Check out the link, the pinned comment. It says free Brisbane Perth seminar, but obviously if you're interested, follow us on LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn. I'm posting a bunch of stuff. But what I found was anything that was founder-led on the IPO and then continued to be founder-led, you actually get a superior performance. This is a bit of a tidbit of information. You get a significant superior performance out of founder led businesses while they're on the stock market. So if you ever have like a founder led business and the founder stays around and keeps staying around, it's traditionally very, very good. Just remember that. Founder led businesses tend to do very well. When the founder leaves, certainly an issue. Sun Micro. How do I invest in DeepSeek? I guess you probably can't. It's open source anyway. XX says, love the DeepSeek app, using it to organize all my finances and passwords. They make it so easy. Hey, putting your passwords in that program? What? This person mad? What do you mean putting your passwords in DeepSeek? Bro, I don't know about that. What do you guys think? Passwords in the DeepSeek. Would you do that, guys? That's a bot? Oh, thank God. Being sarcastic. Oh my goodness. It's a bot. I was thinking I actually kind of half believed you there. Remember, it is 12 o'clock at night here for the US Open. DeepSeek bot. Oh my goodness. Do you remember? Can you imagine when all the bots, like they always claim there's like the Russian bots in all the live chats and stuff? When general people get access to bot technology in chat rooms, this place is going to be super troll. I love DeepSeek. Been using it since December. Amazing apps being built with DeepSeek. Codecraft, Cursor, and Sign. Okay. Tom, you mentioned XLV stocks. Yeah. So I like XLV at the moment. If you have a look at XLV, hey, it's up today, guys. Don't worry, it's not crashing. Yeah, I really like the XLV sector. I think that it's boring. Okay, sure, boring, but it has been totally destroyed over the last couple of years. It also traditionally tends to do better later. So yeah, I'm looking very well. I already have been looking very strongly at XLV. I also think that this is the year of personalized health. Okay. So you guys remember like how everyone over the years has said, oh, we've got like, I don't know, Fitbit. Remember Fitbit? Then before that, you had like a little Nike thing that you put in your shoe, or Nike, I guess, as you call it in the US. And then you had the heartbeat monitor on the phone. Well, now I think that this is kind of the year of personalized healthcare. So I think there's going to be a ton of innovation. And let's be real, running these AI models on drugs and stuff is just it's time. It's such a huge cost saver. So I'm pretty bullish on healthcare. I think it's a bit of a sleeper. Thoughts on BitConnect? BitConnect was a great meme. Oren says we're going to see XBI green today. That's right. I was waiting for autocorrect for life. Last thing I wanted is an AI drug. Have you seen how stupid some people are? I think that you wouldn't necessarily want some of them to be making drugs for you. Personalized health is the way to go. We are running a sick care system over here. Same in Australia. I'm not living proof of not being. Actually, I haven't been sick for a while now, but the thing, but properly. But I will say, yeah, there's no doubt. Sugars, everything, it's all bad. Personalized healthcare is going to be huge. Intel is green, Tom. Yeah. Well, Intel's got earnings this week, and it's actually looks great on the charts. Where's my Intel? Here it is. Oh, it's up 0.58, so not much. It looks really excellent in the charts. You've obviously got your low kind of formation here. You've got your break above, your overall base. You've got strong Wyckoff style volumes here. You got to like it from that action. However, it's still a Terabad company. It's just probably at the lows. What do you think about CEG and plays like PWR? CEG, let's have a quick look here. Constellation. This is the utility. Look, I like utilities. Big sector on it for me in 2024. This is down big time today. Are these obviously it's a utility, I assume that's for AI, but yeah, look, it's in the hype train at the moment. That type of drop, I mean, you have to think the animal spirit is alive for the bull, but I wouldn't usually buy that type of drop. Not really any point. Is Google undervalued? Google is the cheapest of the Mag 7 by valuation, yes. Trading at, I'll read it to you actually. I've got it here. I do. Yeah, you want to look at Google as the average of forward PE. And if we have a look, okay, grabbing it for you guys. Financials. Okay, so the average here in terms of Google has generally traded at 21 or 22 forward, currently trading at 21 forward. That's just underneath 5-year average. And you don't really want to be selling or getting out of it till usually about 24 forward. So not too bad. CEG and PWR. I mean, I am bullish on utilities generally, but you can see the trend is quite extended. That's not a new thing. Animal bear spirits are strong today. They're strong today, but they haven't traditionally been holding up very well. So the market comes in here, guys. Basically, we're down to key levels. Again, 59.50, 59.20 is where support is for the US 500 today. That's probably the most important chart to watch. US 100 hit major support, which is around 20,700. In terms of how I expect it to trade, generally, you usually see markets open, they dip further, or they rally, then dip. The reason they do that is to create puts. So people then buy puts in the market. The rally dip is the classic. What that does is it gets people, as it comes up, they start buying puts because they think it's going to go back down. It goes down. They then stack puts. They lose all their money. And the market will often reverse that. That's kind of the classic move the market will do in mornings. If it is going to hold this low, traditionally it's going to do one of those classics. DeepSeek is an email seeking app. Joining the VIX with future contracts a few more weeks out. Got burnt last time I bought puts when the VIX was 60. Okay. Yeah, well, a lot of people do like trading the VIXy. Good morning, Tom. Apple went down to 218, now back to 222. What are your thoughts on Apple? I'll check it out. Let's just quickly go to Nvidia for a second here. So again, story is down 12 almost on Nvidia, 126. It must hold up better today. You really don't want it down here. It brings up that Wyckoff storyline, which is a legitimate pattern here. So must find buyers, really. I suspect it does, but yeah. I'm not that concerned about the DeepSeek concept for killing the chip demand. I still think there'll be chip demand from other businesses as well. And this does, of course, help some of our narratives. One of our narratives recently has been oversold China. Well, obviously, China could really squeeze off this coming to Chinese New Year. Seriously, are people giving Deep their email passwords? No, there was a joke, but I got caught. Don't worry. I remember Netscape. Yeah. Every major top has been a Wyckoff model. Generally speaking, yes, because it's the only way you can dump huge volumes in. So Wyckoff certainly worthwhile paying attention to on the high time frames. Tom, where do we buy ARM? Is 120 possible? Don't want 120, no. You don't really want it back down in these levels. ARM broke up, which is excellent. Obviously had that great news. Gap is already been hit. 146, pretty good. I mean, that's traditionally where you'd be. About 147 is where I would have been. So, yeah, and here is pretty good. Downward trend line, good demand zone, previous before it busted up. Obviously, volume was good. Yeah, a lot of stocks hitting these kind of levels. Earnings still very strong. This is fake news event. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think the earnings is really, really solid. We've got 80% plus at the moment, respectively, going with higher forward earnings. And as you guys know, that generally triggers, further bullish action. Last third on the lookout. If I look at the S&P, am I seeing a Wyckoff distribution? It's of course arguable. You could say, well, here, fake high, dumps, that could be classed as Wyckoff. Traditionally, though, as we pointed out before, we usually see more aggressive, more this type of action, huge amounts of dumps and upticks and dumps. It takes a while for the market to really sell a high off. And I just do not have enough warning signs yet. I'm looking, of course, we think it could come this year in 2025, but we just can't share that yet with you because I just don't think it's there. US Gov wants Intel to win. That's good enough for me. It's a fair assumption. If the US government is effectively printing for Intel, as in like saying here contracts, here is this, here is that, then that is follow the money. What do you think about selling vol here, Tom? Possible overreaction this morning, and the FOMC earnings this week coming up. I think the earnings should hold firm. The FOMC will be probably a non-event, and I think this is an overreaction. Q4 looks pretty good. SoFi reported, yes. Good earnings, bad forward guidance. I haven't looked at it. Earnings are fake, just like economics data. That's from Eric. They raise the forecast, now they lower it 3 times, and then they beat it. And it's, yeah, we did it. Yeah. Well, sure, but you've got to remember that in earnings, there's always the GDP is growing as well, and earnings is always like that. They lower their expectations and they beat it and they do this. That's why when you traditionally look at earnings, you have a 70+% beat rate. Literally just seeing the same post on X. Love the DeepSeek app using to organize my finance passwords. Make it so easy. Yeah, that's troll bait. Strong companies reporting earnings early, weaker companies later in the cycle. Yeah. And well, the banks are doing well. Look, guys, debt is the creation of growth, okay? And you have to ask yourself, are people borrowing? Chat. Are your cousins, are your uncles, are your sisters, your brothers, your family, are they taking on debt right now? Are they saying, hell yeah, I want to buy that new whatever, that house, or I want to buy, this stock, or I want to get into this thing. I'm going to borrow a little bit of money over here. Are they doing that? Yes, no? Let us know. Crypto's being bought up. Yeah, I think we hit a pretty good level of demand for sure. Pork chewer about to pump. Nope. That sucks. Literally sucks. Yes, everyone and their mama. Yes. We're all in debt. I'm 100% debt free. This person's smart. I feel uranium and power will be biggest loser here considering sell my uranium. Is it down that much? How's that John Deere going? John Deere has been very good. That's actually usually traditionally has great runs on it around Trump. 5.67. I mean, I wouldn't, but yeah, sure. Thoughts on PLTR? I thought I hated PLTR at the moment. Still just kind of going sideways on it to me. So basically over here, in my opinion, we started to see a sell. And from that point, I kind of just went with sideways to down. And how long has it been? This was back in 10th. Okay, so we're 1 and a bit months in. Yeah, we're starting to do some good sideways. I think for now, still sideways. What is the bear narrative from current level to hit bear markets for SPX? I don't know what the bear narrative is from here. Basically, DeepSeek is going to destroy everything and it changes the game. And the markets, we're complacent and we're going to just, basically squeeze the lows. I mean, if the market does give up this, we'll be back at 5,800 pretty quick. You really kind of want the market to hold 59.20, 50, 59.50. Very important level to hold. Very cool, man. FU, Tom, this was a banger opportunity. 3,000 is pretty strong. Uranium is the future. Yep, it's pretty decent pricing for uranium. I'm a mortgage banker for 15 years now, Tom, and these rates have been holding people back from buying. But now realizing that we're never going to see 3%, they will restart. Oh, what a good point, Travis. I love it, man. Yes, exactly. Now they've changed their mindset. The new norm, baby, 6%. They're loving it. It is comical. Just like people buying these bloody hotel rooms on a boat. Absolutely, Travis. This is exactly what's happening. The new norm is 5%. Oh, well, whatever. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's exactly what happens every time. So you'd be surprised. You might say, oh, 5-6% people won't take risk on. People have got goldfish memories. Historically, it is a normal rate. Yeah, I know that. But this is in the massive print era. So the new norm is not 5 to 7% in a massive print era. Actually, the old norm, correct. Trump is going to berate Powell again and try to force rates back to zero. Yeah, you can bet on it. Picked up SU at 598. That's a 2x leverage fund, by the way. Inefficient fund, just so you know. That is cheap. I like the old norm. Take a look at Holo. Like Halo, but Holo. What is this? Holo. It's just like every other small crypto coin thing. They're all hitting around those levels of demand. Look, we got to like some of the things that are happening here early in the day. We got Bitcoin only down 1.3. We got Ethereum holding. Get back up there, you absolute. The dirty thing, this Ethereum. Dirty. I mean, it's too expensive. The gas sucks. It's a dead coin. Am I right? Et cetera, et cetera. But we still want just 34.50. Come on, 34.50, 3,500. Give it to us. People I know are conceding and looking at buying houses again. I don't blame them. Yeah, I don't blame them either. This is what happens. Everything needs to go down eventually, Eric. Holo equals micro cloud holographic, not the crypto. Oh, sorry. Micro cloud. Oh. Bro, what is this thing? Bro, it's like shilling. 31.84 million market cap. Disgusting. No, look at this. Is this dead? What do you think, guys? Doesn't look great. Look, it's like pumpy dumpy. 31 million. Imagine if everyone tried to buy this stock, even in this chat, it would just like it'd be like no lines. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. No to this one. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to blind you, but I did. By the way, happy Australia Day. It's now over, but happy Australia Day to all the Australians out there. Oh, sorry, Dave. Missed your messages. What's up, man? A couple of read here. Where do I find more info about the Brisbane event? Brisbane and Perth events. Linked comment, pin comment, whatever. Click on that. Click on the events. Sign up free. Totally good. This is an excellent stream. So much quality alpha. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Thank you. Just wanted to say a massive thank you for your daily hard work. Greetings from Greece, man. Thank you very much. Hope to come back to Greece one day. Maybe I'll hit you up. Give me some Dolmades, yeah? All right, Dolmades. Dolmades are Greek, yeah? Better not be wrong. I'll have a souvlaki. There we go. Tom, you're the GOAT. Really mean that. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Jack. Appreciate it, man. And I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming out and obviously trusting us in days like this. This is not an easy day. You know, you look at the news and the news would have you the second coming of the Terminator is here. But you've got to put things in perspective. And as we've done so far today, we've found some good levels initially in the stream. Not panicking, obviously no panic. And, you know, funnily enough, the timing is almost perfect for those people that are daring enough to go at those Chinese stocks because, yeah, they're up. And also Chinese New Year and obviously the potential here for a squeeze on that market. So I always say, like, you've got to put things in perspective. There certainly are some worrying signs on Nvidia in terms of structural components. We have to be very careful of the US 500 and the way it's currently setting, because if it goes too low, we have to start questioning stuff. But as I've always said with you guys, it's about looking for the signs of weakness. And we still are in a liquid market that tends to still have the right leaders going on, that tends to still have the right sectors kind of still, you know, over the higher timeframes working. And it's just a period you've got to be more dangerous with, more you know, thoughts of the danger in 2025. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and we'll go through those this year. There's a lot of other things to do besides Nvidia, absolutely. Some people's at my gym and elsewhere, we're talking about buying stocks recently. Like, oh, dude, I got to say, I was out in the suburbs of Melbourne, which is where I live in Australia, this weekend with my family, and I got some food, and I walked past these kids, and they must have been, I don't know, probably like some people watching this show, maybe like 24, something like that. Anyway, the guy's like, yeah, man, dollar cost averaging. That's the way. You got to buy dollar cost averaging, man. And he's like, you think dollar cost averaging works still? And he's like, yeah, I think it works, man. And I like heard him for a few more moments. And the guy's like, he goes, yeah, I just got everything in it. Everything, just buy it all. And I was like, oh dear God. And then we crash. We crash on Monday. What happens? Oh, dollar cost averaging doesn't work still. Oh my goodness. I should have said to the guys, like, what the hell are you talking about? But anyway, it's probably clearly crypto bros. And yeah, unfortunately, they probably got trekked a little bit today. But it was quite amusing to hear them talk about dollar cost averaging and how they had all their money in some crap coin. TikTok. Yeah, it's a classic. Anyone else ever listen to people in the elevator and what they talk about? It's so funny when they're talking stock. Happy holiday was going to short some German stocks. Look at Siemens. Why are you shorting those German stocks? I always wanted to go to Phillip Island. Racetrack is beautiful. Yeah, I went to school on that place. So yeah, there you go. Take them under your wing. No, crypto bros hard, man. They're hard work. The crypto bros have been completely. They've got significant brain rot. If they're not looking at 10-15% in one day move, it doesn't excite them. Do you think we end up going down to 6,200? Oh, do we think we go to 6,200? Yeah, of course. I think we still go higher. Yep. Hedge funds were pausing US AI bets as DeepSeek emerged, says Goldman. Oh, really? Were they now? Uh-huh. Sure they were. I'd put $1 million on TLT if I had 10 million. That's fair enough. I appreciate it, Big John. Thank you, man. Keep going, man. Oz, but the smart ones of us look at monthly candles, nothing below. That's true, Oz. MU, wait for it to blow. Why is everyone like MU at the moment? Stock is kind of weird. Doesn't really look like anything to me. I guess it's the island reversal. You're like, they bought the island reversal. 95. Look, I think the thing is you got to keep it all relative. Nvidia, semiconductors, MU, stock market, NASDAQ, they all like Ethereum, Bitcoin, they all hit the levels. I mean, we had the lines on. So to me, they kind of, even MU hit the level, I guess. I mean, I'll just show you a reiteration here just to finish up. This is the level I had before we even streamed. This is from Friday. This is from Friday. This is the traditional level we've had. I don't like that one, but anyway, it went there. This is nothing. I didn't have that one. I didn't get that one, guys. Didn't get Bitcoin. Okay. But my point is that it synergized. And something we've always looked for in crashes or flash crashes or anything is you want synergy of the markets. Is everything kind of hitting the key levels at the same time? And we pretty much have seen that. The big question is really, where does Nvidia close? Obviously, guys, we'll cover it at the end of today's show, at the end of today's market. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to end it here because there's not much else to discuss for now. The general thought process here is this an innovation term for AI? Absolutely. This is a huge historical moment in terms of innovation and what we can potentially do with this with less compute. Do I think that it's going to kill demand? No. Do I think that AI is going to get even more hotly contested? Yes. Do I think the timing is very interesting? Of course. Chinese New Year / no puts in the market. All of a sudden it crashes. Therefore, you've got to look at it as a bit of a conspiracy in some way and say, well, maybe this was an excuse to take out a few people's positions and slap around some leverage. We will, of course, figure out more information as we go. Doesn't change any of our opinions on gold, silver, metals in general. Obviously, it's good for the China trades and plays that we've been talking about recently. And yeah, the VIX one will bring the stat at the end of the day. So once we get the VIX stat out, we'll check that out and have a look at it. We've got huge earnings this week. Make sure to follow the channel for that. We've got Apple, we've got Microsoft, we've got so many Wednesday and Thursday, and of course the FOMC meeting as well. When the stupid FOMC meeting, here it is. And it's on the Wednesday at 2 p.m. New York time. Jerome Powell, his annoying cronies, they're all out here telling us how great they are. And I don't think it'll be a huge event. Maybe this is just the excuse to get the fear into that event, because the problem is for a lot of retail, it's hard to buy the dip when you got this thing coming and then you got earnings coming and you go, oh my God, the fear. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out and then we'll go from there. But I think that I would guess that right around here, we're going to get some tweets. What do you guys? We're in 2025. So it seems to me like this might coincide with quite a lot of tweets. What do you guys think? Or truths, if you get what I'm saying. That's that. Wake up Friday plus 2%. All noise. Stay the course, says Truly Messiah. 420 even. All this DeepSeek thing will be clear examples of what? A paradox. Oh, yeah. I looked at that. Let's put this here and check that out after, guys. Bring on the tweets. There are going to be so many tweets. I'll read these last couple of comments just from one of the mods that sent me. So I appreciate these comments, guys. Got to give you some love. Joshua said, lobsters on me anytime I see you, Tom. You must be one of the big wigs on Wall Street to get those lobsters through. Appreciate it, Joshua. Mark says, Tom, there is only 2 YouTube channels worth listening to. I think he means one, guys. And that is FX. And I'm going to give him a plug here, I guess. Trade Brigade. good complement to one another. There we go. And thank you very much. And Lois says here, thanks, Tom. Your insights are GOAT. Appreciate it, guys. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to finish it there. Good luck today. We'll get the close out probably a bit faster if we can, so that we can be on top of this ridiculous news. And we'll go from there. Remember, Chinese New Year this week, so it opens up the possibility of significant squeeze. And a lot of China stocks, especially the tech, are quite low. So this could be that catalyst moment with the squeeze, with everything else to get those things going on. But let's not lose sight of the best. Let's repeat this: the best market in the world. And which market is that, guys? I'll let the chat take it away. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys. Best market in the world.